Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. So what is up, you guys? My man Badge is over here twisting and spinning.
We got
we got the whole
the video
crew in the
starts.
House
I lose my freaking buttons to turn my mic off mute. It's been a cluster since I got on this morning. I mean, it's been what, 3 months since I seen you guys, and it's like I freaking never did this before.
Yeah. My man's a little rusty, and my man C-Dub coming from across the pond. What's good, brother? How you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing great, mate. I'm doing great, mate. It's absolutely awesome to be back on with you boys, man. Especially Badge, man. Even though he's bringing his habitiness. He's a bit rusty, so he has to get back up to speed a little bit. You know what I mean? But no, it's awesome to be back on, man. It's I always hate the off seasons because I don't get a chance to speak to you boys. So glad to be back on and glad to be talking Bears football.
Absolutely. And the man who, I don't want to say he delayed us a little bit, but my man was worried about his waves not looking too wavy this morning, so he went to go grab you my hat. But my man, I love you, KB. That's my dog. What's good, brother? How you doing?
What's going on? Well, I'm good, bro, man. Your boy couldn't get on here looking like that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's looking a little rough on the top, man. Looking a little rough on the top. We ain't been on in a little bit, so I don't want to drop that bad first impression for some people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Well, it feels good to be back, man. I set this thing up. I sent out the link on, I think, Friday or something, and I was like, yeah, we'll just talk some free agency or whatever. And then Ryan Poles came off the top.
Yeah, you're gonna make it mad. I don't give a fuck, Keisha. He should be worried about making Ray mad up in here.
I don't give a fuck.
My man Ryan Poles, he said, let me trade this right quick. So we had a major trade. If you haven't heard, you live under a rock. You ain't been on Twitter or anywhere really, or watched.
Boy, you can be on Squarespace, goddammit. You can go hear about this guy.
The Chicago Bears traded the number 1 overall pick for the 9th overall pick, the 61st overall pick, the 2024 first round pick, and a 2025 second round pick. But the biggest thing to me, anyway, was my man DJ Moore right here. I mean, just seeing this photo gets me fired up, man. We got us a number 1 receiver. I don't care what anybody says. This man was putting in work in Carolina with XFL quarterbacks and corpse of Cam Newton and Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield stopped in for a little bit. My man was still putting up numbers, so I'm pretty excited to have this guy right here. And I'm gonna let y'all talk because I know y'all are fired up too, man. My man KB, he even called me. He hit me up. He was like, "Man, this ain't even a check. Hey, you tell me what's up, brother."
Bruh, so Your boy was at work. You know what I'm saying? Laying on the couch. It was one of them days. You just be on Twitter, just hitting refresh on everything. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of chatter going on around talking about, hey man, this could possibly be moving. Then you see the biggest tweet come out from your boy Greg Gabriel. Hey, I heard some shit, but I'm not gonna say the shit is going down. Wait a minute. So now I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like real fast. You know what I'm saying? Real fast. I get up, I start to walk to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden I get a message from my group chat. Totally not even got nothing to do with football. Saying, hey man, y'all know that the Bears traded the number 1 pick? What? I beg your pardon? I said, bro, no, they didn't. No. And as soon as I said no, I was opening Twitter. And the first thing I see is Adam Schefter reporting the Bears traded the first round pick. You know what I'm saying? I'm running around the damn fire station. My people looking at me crazy. It's funny because one of the captains down there is actually a Bears fan. So I went up to him. I said, Cap, we traded the pick. And he's like the most chillest person on earth. He looks up because he's looking down at his phone. He looks up from the chair. He says, yeah, I know. I said, you're not excited about this, man? I said, you see what we got? He was like, oh yeah. He said, we got a couple picks. I said, you know what, man? Forget you, Cap. I'm calling some people I know that'll love me. So I called my boy AC. I'm like, man, hey, I'm going crazy on the phone. AC is like, yeah, bro. Then we get off the phone. I'm like, man, I gotta call Badge.
Yep.
I was gonna call my boy Chris, but I ain't got Chris' number. So I'm like, shit, I can't call him on Twitter. So man, yeah, I was super excited, man. The biggest piece to me there is the DJ Moore piece. We constantly hear about the third year for these quarterbacks and them getting a number 1 receiver. Care less what nobody say, bro. DJ Moore is a number 1 receiver. If you want to call him a top end or a low end, do what you want to do. The fact of the matter is now you have DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Chase Claypool, and that's your core of receivers. You can do a hell of a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
And last I checked, I'm looking at the size. I don't know why I thought Stephon Diggs was like 6'1", 6'2". Him and DJ Moore are the same fucking size.
Yep.
And honestly, in 5 years, DJ Moore has had more yards put up than him and better yards per catch. So
I'll let Badge go ahead and talk because I feel like I'm taking over the show already. But Badge, you want to go ahead and tell us how you felt about this trade? Because I mean, you were so excited, you hit me up to get on the show.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I was out having sushi, right? And I see it come through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, Ryan Poles is my hero. All this talk about Poles can't do this, can't do that, he won't do anything, where this franchise is going nowhere. All these fucking douchebags. The Bears should trade Justin Fields and draft Bryce Young. Jason LaCanfora how this guy still has a job with a professional organization that covers football, and the 4 of us are still sit here and
I can't get credentials, but these motherfuckers can throw out whatever they want.
I just don't get it. I just don't get Louis Riddick, the same thing. But the last season of Matt Nagy, he threw Justin Fields under the bus after the Cleveland game. When it wasn't Justin Fields' fault. But now, because he's praising Justin Fields, Louis Riddick, he should be a GM. Go fuck yourselves. There's a reason Louis Riddick don't have a GM job. But anyway.
Right.
I love this trade. I love the draft picks. I love what we got in return. I mean, it's a haul. It doesn't matter to me what anybody else says. This is a haul. Ryan Poles knew what he was doing, and all the doubters that, this is going to be a terrible offseason. We have all these needs that need to be addressed. Well, the biggest need to me was the wide receiver position and getting a number 1. Because in all honesty, I said it 2 years ago. I knew Darnell Mooney was not a number 1 receiver. But all the experts, he's a number 1. He's a number 1. No, he's not. Now You can use all three of these guys anywhere on the football field.
Exactly.
And that makes them lethal.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Because who are you going to cover? You've got two guys with 4.42 speed and Chase Claypool at 4.54. Right? So, I mean, who are you going to put on those guys? Now you got to move a linebacker out there to cover Darnell Mooney if he's in the slot?
Yeah,
I
think Mooney in the slot is a good spot for him. I know a lot of people are talking about Mooney being number 2 and Claypool in the slot, but I feel like I like Claypool on the outside and Mooney in the slot.
I think in this day and age, in the way offenses work now in the NFL, I don't, yes, a receiver's assigned a position, but on any play, they could be lined up in another spot running a completely different route. These guys know, where with Matt Nagy's system, everybody was running a curl or a hook. So, you were going to a spot and hoping the ball was going to be there, when you turned around. That's not going to be the case with Luke Getsy. It's you've seen it already. Just, I didn't watch much of last year, but what I saw, you can tell that's not the case. He wants Justin Fields throwing these guys open.
Right. Well, I mean, we saw it in Green Bay too. When Devontae Adams would have a tough half, they'd come out, they'd make some adjustments, and all of a sudden Adams is lining up in the slot. That's the kind of and DJ Moore brings that as well. I know being in Kentucky, I saw more Carolina Panthers football than I care to talk about, but definitely DJ Moore was a guy that I loved, and I told KB the first play I thought of, I wish I'd have pulled the clip, but there's a deep ball game-winning touchdown really against the Atlanta Falcons. Unfortunately, after he was so fired up, he took his helmet off, got a penalty, and the kicker missed the extra point that took him to overtime. They ended up losing the game, but hopefully that's a learning situation for him. And but this is a guy that I was definitely excited about. Honestly, Chris, you want to talk about this trade because I'm going to go on a little tangent here.
I mean, it was quite strange, really. I was actually asleep at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just suddenly woke up for no reason at all, looked at my phone, and then there were all these tweets about the trade. I was like, fucking yeah, man, yes. It like Providence. It like I just woke up. It like somebody said, "Chris, wake up and look at this tweet." And I look at it. It took me a while to get my head around it. And I was like looking. I thought, well, it seems a bit low, that second round pick. And then I thought, well, that's because they got DJ Moore in that deal. Right. And I'm so happy that we got a prospective number 1 receiver who can take the load off Mooney and Claypool. And I just think really that's what Justin Fields has been crying out for all last season. And you see how other teams have done that, like the Philadelphia Eagles, when they got that guy in for their quarterback. And I think it's just going to make a massive difference to Justin Fields. I think he's going to be able, he's going to have more options to throw to. He's going to have a bit more confidence because he knows he's got a guy who can really get open in the middle of the field. So, yeah, I was overjoyed. I like looking at all the Texans. It was like, yes, come on, Paul. So, very nice and surprised and happy about it.
Yeah. It sounds like Chris's spidey sense was going off. We'll pull him up.
Weird, man. It was weird. I just thought went up like that. I just went, fucking hell, man. That's awesome for no reason at all. It must have been a Providence call from God or something. Not to get religious, but that's what it felt like.
Pretty much, man.
Yeah. I mean, when I came on here, when I set this up, I was like, yeah, we'll talk about some free agents. The guy I wanted, Deron Payne, obviously got the franchise tag, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of guys that I wanted either got re-signed or franchise tagged. So, I mean, we was kind of in a tight spot, I think. Although a guy that KB told me about, David Okereke, is starting to gain some momentum to the Bears. And he was the first one to put me on game with him. So I've been trying to look up him a little bit. But what I really wanted to talk about, I was like, man, we need to trade for DeAndre Hopkins because I really like D-Hop to do what we did with DJ Moore. I mean, he pushes he improves the talent level of the whole wide receiver room. And if you look back at trades for like AJ Brown, the Eagles traded a first round pick to get him. Stephon Diggs, I looked up the trade for that one, but I think it was like a third, fourth, and fifth. Like they traded multiple picks to get Stephon Diggs. In this trade, yeah, we traded a pick, but we got back several picks and DJ Moore.
Yeah.
So my guy Ryan Poles, and I mean everybody. I'm not used to people saying like regular people that aren't Bears fans saying, "Man, the Bears just fleeced somebody." Usually we on the other side of that. If y'all remember the Trubisky trade, everyone was talking about how Ryan Pace got fleeced. With Ryan Poles, that dude's a G, man. He's just
Think about this for a second, guys. Look how fast a team can change from 1 or 2 seasons to 2 seasons later. I mean, 2 years ago, let's say we're in this position. What is Ryan Pace doing? He's probably trading picks to get DJ Moore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's probably trading that first pick to get DJ Moore, but he's just getting DJ Moore or giving a pick back to get him, right? Ryan Poles, as soon as he came out with information when he had that press conference, I knew right there, I was like, this fucking guy knows what he's doing. And he clearly knew what he was doing. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to go into free agency Tuesday or what is it, Tuesday or Wednesday?
I think Wednesday's tomorrow is the
tampering
negotiation period. They call it the tampering period, even though tampering
illegal tampering,
yeah. So, I think, he's still got a little bit of work to do. But I definitely think you've put your wide receiver room in a great position. I do believe that they will still address the wide receiver room in the draft in some way, shape, or form. I know a lot of guys are looking to do that early with JSN. I mean, you have the ability to pretty much kind of do whatever you want now. I mean, you don't have to make that pick at 9. You can trade back.
You can trade down.
Right. Yeah.
So, kudos to Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham. I mean, I tweeted the other day. I think it was off of Mark Carman's tweet. For the first time in my 43 years, almost 44 years of life, there's some competence at Hallis Hall.
Right. Yeah.
And they've never had it since, I mean, in my lifetime anyway. Yeah,
Right.
They won the Super Bowl in 85, but they're 86, whatever you want to call it. But this actually shows me that they've got the right football people where they need to be.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, even Ian Cunningham, our assistant GM, he had a chance to go to Arizona and run his own team, and he was like, "I'm gonna stick around a little bit and try and help this organization. It's only going to help him more in the future." And I love the guys that we have in charge. They both came from the organizations that were in the Super Bowl last year. You know what I'm saying? So, so they've learned a thing or two about how to build this, how to negotiate. Obviously, we saw it with Ryan Pace, how bad a negotiator he was. And I don't know how we didn't see that coming. If you look at New Orleans, they're always trading their first round pick. They're always in salary cap hell. They've always got to restructure guys every year for free agency to try and fix it. Whereas Kansas City and even the Eagles, they reload, they make moves, and they continue improving their roster, from top to bottom. I'm really excited about the way this place is going. A lot of people in the chat are talking about, trading 9 and where we're going to end up, and JSN. Yeah. And I like JSN a lot, and I know he's already got a connection with Justin, but I just worry about, we have so many holes on this roster, man. I don't see us grabbing one that early. And I'm starting to see Bijan Robinson as our number 9 overall pick. I'm not sure I'm on board with that either. I feel like we need to build
I'm not about drafting a running back in the first round. Maybe mid-second.
Right.
These guys, I mean, look at some of these guys. You basically get a running back now for 4 years, and
Pretty
then
much.
you're letting them go because their value increases. Teams don't want to pay them because they don't view them like they used to, And I mean, really, most teams now have multiple running backs.
Mhm.
It's not a one-man position anymore. You've got 3, sometimes 4 backs that teams use, and with a fullback.
Right.
So, I think I don't like the idea of. To me, that's wasting a draft pick if you're drafting a running back with your first pick. These guys are a dime a dozen. Look at some of these backs over the last couple years that have been 5th, 6th rounders
Right.
that have,
Look right here in
become starters.
Chicago.
I mean,
we had
absolutely.
Jordan Howard. He was a 4th round pick, I believe. You had Cohen, who was a 5th or 6th round pick. You have even David Montgomery. A lot of people are like, you can't replace David Montgomery with a rookie. Well, we kind of did that with Jordan Howard to David Montgomery. So I feel like it's possible. And I do like this running back class. Bijan Robinson looks like he could be Saquon Barkley. But, man, I hate using the 9th overall pick. If our team was in a different situation, like, look, we just talked about the Eagles. They got the 10th overall pick because, again, the New Orleans Saints are dumb. They traded away their 1st round pick. And now the Philadelphia Eagles went to the Super Bowl, and now they got a top 10 pick. I feel like Bijan Robinson would be a perfect fit there, but they're a full team. You know what I'm saying? They're there.
Well, let's be honest. We know Khalil Herbert isn't as a running back. Yes, great runner, but he fucking can't pass block to save his life. So that to me, he's not going to be the guy. I mean, could he get better? Can he work out? Yes, but he's small. It's like Tariq Cohen. Yeah, we saw Tariq Cohen throw some decent.
Oh, I think you froze there, Badge.
Yep.
All right, I want to make sure it wasn't just me.
No,
I think he's going to talk about Cohen doing he had a couple of highlight plays and stuff, but injuries started piling up for him. Froze there, Badge. I think you're back on me.
It's typical Wi-Fi.
I mean, sort of. My issue is, using that number 9 for a running back is far too high to take a running back. I think really what we need to do is copy what the Philadelphia Eagles did and sort of build from the trenches outwards, because we're desperate for defensive linemen and we're desperate to improve the offensive line. So it absolutely breaks my heart because I played running back when I was a kid, so I love the running back position, and it breaks my heart that it's so devalued in the NFL today. Even though I think the running back position might start making a bit of a comeback because all these defenses are playing them sort of shell defenses. So you can get 3 or 4 yards automatically anyway. And also as well, some of the tackling as well in this day and age of the NFL is pretty poor. So I think maybe over the next sort of 5 years, the running back position might become more important again, and they might, start getting them bigger salaries and higher draft picks. But I just think where the Bears are, we've got so many positions that we need to sort out. But a number 9 pick and a running back would be absurd.
Yeah.
Totally
I kind of agree with that. It could be making a comeback, but as far as drafting them high, I just don't think GMs value them at that anymore. Especially, I mean, you see a team like we just talked about. I mean, look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They drafted their guy in the 7th round, Pacheco, and he's a legitimate number 1 running back. You don't have to grab these guys in the top 10 for them to. Now, every once in a while, like someone in the Homer Cuts was talking about, look at the McCaffrey trade and what it did for San Fran. I agree with that, but San Fran they have more of a complete team. They have the best D-line, in my opinion, in the league. They've got a built offensive line. They're even comfortable with letting Mike McGlinchey test free agency, who could possibly be a Bear. Honestly, I'm not high on McGlinchey. I got a friend who's a 49ers fan, and I can remember weekly whenever they would lose, he'd say, man, McGlinchey missed the block there. Man, McGlinchey's a legitimate issue on our offensive line, stuff like that. And I mean, he'd probably be an upgrade because we don't have anybody at right tackle. But I feel like if you're going to spend the money, a guy that I'm starting to love is Jawan Taylor. He's 25 years old, out of Jacksonville. I feel like he has the athletic ability that Greg Gabriel talks about a lot, to where they can pull and stuff they got to do in this scheme. He's a guy that I'd rather take him over McGlinchey, to be completely honest. And I'm honestly, I like him better than Orlando Brown even at this point. I'm looking at Orlando Brown, and yeah, his numbers are good, but my guy's going to ask for $25 million, and even though we got the money, man, I don't know. I like what we had. I like Braxton Jones. I mean, you look at the numbers, the PFF numbers, he's in like the top 10. He was like the number 1 rookie offensive tackle. He doesn't get a whole lot of talk. Sometimes he does, but overall, a lot of people are like, man, they just talk about the Bears offensive line as a whole not being very good. But I really think Braxton Jones can flourish in that position. And if you found a left tackle in the 5th round of the draft, that's a fucking win. And that points back to Ryan Poles being a hell of an evaluator and a hell of a general manager to build this roster. And I mean, look at Philly, man. They built their whole offensive line through the draft. They did so well that they grabbed their left tackle. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was the guy who used to play
Rugby league.
What's that?
He used to play rugby league in Australia. Their left tackle.
Yeah.
So he was a complete novice. Yeah, he played rugby. He was a complete novice to the game. And I mean, you should see, if you get a chance, try and see me tape of him playing rugby, because he's such a big guy that he's got all these little guys trying to tackle him. It was amazing. But he knows what you do with good coaching, with the guy who's never played the game, and just, use his natural ability. Where I'm completely with you on the O-line, AC.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad we're all in this together on that. I didn't have a ton of stats or a ton of I just had my opinion. That's what I came here with, was my opinion.
Yeah, I think the Braxton Jones thing, I mean, he was a rookie. So, I mean, first of all, he didn't even win the job until really the last week of training camp, maybe. You know what I mean? So, and now here you are, a rookie left tackle. Your first year in the league, you're probably getting your ass kicked. And You know what? I mean, there were times, yeah, he definitely looked bad. But that's going to help him develop and grow. And now he's able to use the tape from those moments to make himself better. Now he's got a whole off season to prepare himself, work on his strength, work on his core, work on building the strength in his legs to make him a better pass blocker. And to me, I don't think the Bears are going out and getting a left tackle. I just don't think they're going to do it. And maybe a right tackle, maybe. I mean, I could see them doing that more than getting a left tackle. I really think Braxton Jones could be here for the long haul.
You see, I wanted to step in on that, because I see a lot of people saying we should draft a tackle in the first round or whatnot. I'll say this, man. Y'all can think I'm crazy all y'all want. Folks can talk about me in the chat. I honestly don't want to see us draft a tackle in the first round. I look at what we did. We drafted Braxton in the 5th. Braxton gets so much flack, but yet Braxton was also one of the best rookie tackles, period. Yeah, he needs strength. He came from a D2 program. He's not used to going against grown-ass men. And the sad part is, the only thing you can actually say that is a negative about Braxton Jones is he's not strong enough to handle the bull rush. So if that's the only thing you can sit there and say that you have a problem with Braxton Jones is, give him the offseason when he's actually being put through grown men weight training and on this NFL schedule for an entire offseason, and see what he can do. I'm all aboard to have us sign Jawan Taylor, or I was looking at Jawan Taylor, maybe Caleb McGarry. I'm not big on McGlinchey either. I think he's overhyped. But let's say we draft Paris Johnson, and Paris Johnson has the same type of year that Braxton Jones had. Are we then coming back and saying next year we need to replace Paris Johnson at right tackle? Because I guarantee you right now, the only reason why people are talking crazy is because Braxton Jones was drafted in the 5th round. But Braxton Jones, he had stats that were very comparable to Charles Cross, Evan Neal. Who it was another guy, the kid out of Carolina that the Panthers was looking at saying, damn, we don't even know if dude's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is this: are we using his draft position as a problem, or are we using the player as a problem? Because if that's the case in Paris Johnson, or you get the Skoronski kid or whoever the hell it is, you put him at right tackle and he has the same type of year as Braxton Jones, then are we then saying the same fucking thing about replacing the right tackle next year because he gave us the same type of stats? That's my argument. I said I'm dropping the money in the O line and D line. That is my
guys. You know what the funny thing is here is we're talking about left tackle and right tackle. We need a center.
Yeah, we need a center.
I know they re-signed Sam Mustipher, but I'm not a Sam Mustipher fan. I sorry, Olin. He's not good.
He'll come after you.
Well, whatever. At this point, I don't care. Go for it. If it gets you more likes, clicks, whatever, good for you. He does not fit in this league to me. Put him in the XFL. Put him in, USA football. I'm sure he would probably be great there. But the guy's first move after he snaps the ball is usually backwards. And that's not going to get your run game going. It's not going to help your quarterback. We need somebody in that position. And I'm not saying you draft a center with the number 9 overall pick. Let me not, go crazy there. But I did see a couple of names available for agency, and I forget the names. I want to say one of them was the Chargers center.
I know the guy out of Minnesota is available. I think his name's Bradbury. He struggled early, but when they brought in O'Connell, who came from the same type of system that Getsy runs, all of a sudden he flourished. He had a good year. It was in a contract year, so that's something you got to think about on that. But I like him a lot. I'm trying to think.
Ben Jones.
Just got cut from Tennessee, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know.
That's who it was. Tennessee. Yep.
I didn't know he failed the physical, and that's why they cut him.
Okay.
If he can pass it, I guess the Bears actually were in on him at one point, so maybe they do bring him in for a look and have him as stopgap. But I don't know. They should. I kind of feel like they might try to roll with not Mustipher, but Patrick at center because of.
PZ just took words right out your mouth.
Okay. I didn't think he signed a 2-year. I thought he had only signed 1 year. So I didn't realize he's back. Okay, so I think that's what they planned to do last year, guys. Was he was the plan to be the starter at center. So if that's I would be fine with that as well. I'm still not sold on him really either. As a guard, I didn't really think.
we didn't what I saw.
Oh God, it was rough. Yeah.
Sorry, AC. I would just say another prospect at centre could be the Browns centre. He's a free agent. Ethan Pocket. That's it, KB. And he's quite highly rated, so he could be one worth looking at. But I've just got a feel that they might stick with Lucas Patrick. Because, he did play well when he was at Green Bay, but, he obviously we're playing without Rodgers, which helps. But I do think centre is, it's like Bad said, I think it's one of the most important positions we need to get sorted out because Mustipher, he just gets pushed back too much and he gets pushed back straight into Fields' face. So Fields can't step up to, when he wants to pass. So, I'm definitely up for a change at the centre.
And I forget Patrick had a hand injury last season.
Yeah, that's right.
So, who knows the effect that had on him and trying to block whether, obviously he didn't play center because it clearly was a factor. So, maybe I'm giving him shit. He was hurt, so whatever.
We didn't see him, so it's hard to evaluate him one way or the other. Jeremy Forer here says draft John Michael Schmitz. This is a guy that KB talked about mid-season last year.
Oh, bro.
Minnesota. I think he has a wrestling background. I love that in my offensive lineman because as KB knows, as a former wrestler, you learn how to use leverage and use your hands and feet and all that good stuff that you need on the offensive line. John Michael Schmitz, and if there's one thing you're getting out of Minnesota, the O-line is always going to be solid. So I definitely like that pick. It might be a guy that, and we have two second rounders this year now. Granted, they're low, but we could do what the Packers did last year, package those and move up. If you like a guy like John Michael Schmitz to try and grab him and help solidify that O-line, I really like that pick as well. Barlissimo's dropping all kinds of stuff in this chat.
Hey man, what's
up, George?
It's a lot of centers, man, in this draft that I would actually love to give a look to, man. You got Tipman out of Wisconsin. The dude is massive.
I saw a picture of him. He's got a badass mullet, so I'm on board with that.
I was gonna say, and he's 6'6", 300 plus.
Holy shit!
The dude is a monster. Then you have
6'6" at center. Damn, that's a big fucking center right there,
dude, bro. Then you have Whipper out of Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah.
You got him. It was another guy too that people liked, and then one of my personal favorites. I can't say his name for shit. The kid from Michigan. Hell, he was the fucking Remington fucking the best lineman this year.
Oh yeah,
in college football.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the combine, and that guy was moving really well. I really like that they're doing the pulling drills at the combine now. I didn't see the Wisconsin guy, if he did that drill or not. That's something I'd have to look at, because if he's 6'6", 300 plus in this scheme, he's got to be able to move. You know what I'm saying? And I just that's a big dude to try and get out there. Tony the Pod Boss is on it this morning. I can't say that name. Aluwad.
Oh yeah.
Is that the guy from Michigan, KB, right there?
Yeah. Yep. That's him. Like I said, I can't say his name. So
I'm not going to go there.
they got Tipman at 6'6", 313 pounds, bro.
Wow.
And it's the Arkansas center. Thanks, Barlissimo. That's the other center that they're talking about. I don't know his name. I just know that they were talking about him being really good too.
I'm trying to remember his name too, man. I can't. I'm drawing a blank over here. I mean, we should have just went ahead and drafted Luke Fortner last year out of Kentucky, and we'd have had that center position locked up, but they chose not to.
All right, man. We had Sam Mustipher and Lucas Patrick. Nothing was going to go wrong.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, shit, that's the best.
I feel like we should talk some free agents since it starts this week. I mean, I'm biased. Obviously, Zadarius Smith asked for his release from the Vikings, and Bud Dupree is a cap casualty in Tennessee. Those are both Kentucky guys, defensive ends. I like them both. I know I put it out in the chat, and KB said, he's probably going to look for a contender, but Bud Dupree, man, I mean, he hasn't lived up to his draft stock, but at Kentucky, that dude was a monster. I mean, he did everything for us when we didn't have nobody. Really, I mean, you had him and Z on the edges. They were there at the same time, and I really like that dude. I don't know, maybe we can get him cheap. I don't know, but is there anybody that you guys were like really like? We got to talk about this dude in free agency. I can pull up the list here on NFL.com if you guys want to. I'll let KB talk about a couple of guys. I know he's got some.
Oh man, right now, my out the gate guy. I have to go get right now is probably Draymond Jones.
Okay.
You need the 3-tech. You need it bad. We can say what we want to say about Jalen Carter and his situation, man. Maybe he slips, maybe he doesn't. You hear a lot of people saying
if he falls to 9, man, I'm totally fine.
I'm taking him. But you know what I'm saying, who knows? I don't think he's gonna fall to 9. I think he'll probably go to Seattle or some shit.
I mean, you got Detroit at 6 that they got to shore up their D line. You got Ryan Pace sitting there at 8 in Atlanta. I mean, he loves them Georgia boys, so I don't know if he'll get to us. But
I was gonna say, Jeremy, I was singing the praises of Zach Allen for a minute too, bro. I already hear you. He's talking about, can we talk about Zach Allen out of Arizona? That's another dude I would love to see us go to get. The dude was phenomenal last year in Arizona.
I figure Ryan Pace will probably trade this year's first for Atlanta and next year's first to move up one spot and draft a kicker.
Luckily, he's just an assistant, so he don't get to make those full choices.
Oh,
Hey, man,
somebody's there to freaking put a cap on him. Then
I'm gonna say, man, you sure? Every time we cut somebody, goddamn it, they show went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Hot Atlanta was Chicago Atlanta. We had everybody.
What about the number one guy on this list? I just pulled up NFL.com's list of free agency. The number one guy is Javon Hargrave. The guy is 30, but he's a guy that he's probably going to cost quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
but he has produced on two different teams in two different systems, and you hardly ever see guys get through two contracts and still be at the level where they can get a $20 million contract. But this guy, I feel like he does it, and I know it's going to cost us a lot. But like I said, I was ready to blow my load on Daron Payne. I feel like I'm there with Javon Hargraves. I mean, and he comes from Philly, so we got Ian Cunningham in the building. He knows what this guy can do. Would you guys be cool with that, or is there any pushback that you have? You know, I mean,
it's
I know
the spot
30.
to me that's the most important to this defense, guys.
Yeah.
So that says it all right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm exactly the same. I mean, the guy had 11 sacks last year from a defensive tackle, and I also made 60 tackles as well. And I know he's 30, and there's like this big thing about people dropping off, but I think he'll be a great pick, and we got the money as well with the cap space. I want to get these sort of like top players. They've got if we do sort of draft a lot of rookies for the defensive linemen, they've got a leader there who's done it at a high level. So I'd be so happy if we got him.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's freezing on me too.
I was gonna say he's freezing. He's going in and out a little bit at the end.
But I mean, his main point was we got the money to spend it, and it's a very important position in this defense. I think Eberflus said it himself. He's kind of the linchpin on this defense. Is your three tech. So I mean, if you're going to spend, I mean, they tried to spend it last year when they didn't even have it.
They tried to get Ogunjobi.
Yeah,
just wasn't working. And I see Vaughn saying the 30.
Mm-hmm.
That is about the only downside you have with Hargrave right now is the 30. That's why I say my number one target would be Draymond. It's just because of the age.
I think he's 26, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say Draymond would be 26 this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but Jeremy, man, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at some of the comments, but we're not forgetting the weak side. That's where I said before. Once Okereke I realized he was a target. Oh yeah, there. No doubt in my fucking mind that Bobby Okereke would be in Chicago.
So he's a will or
so they had him playing inside.
I got a guy at Mike that I like a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they had him playing inside at one point, and then when Darius went down with Freak, whenever he went down, he moved to the weak side linebacker position and produced over 100 tackles, man. The dude can do everything that you need him to do, and he's still like 25 or 26. So that's another young cat you got. He's fast. The guy can force turnovers. He can do everything that Eberflus needs in his defense. And I think if he came in here, bro, he could probably push all pro status. That's my take on Okereke.
Well,
I see people saying they don't believe they'll pay him.
That's definitely going to be a guy that Eberflus has familiarity with. He came from Indianapolis, so he knows what the guy can do. So that's a guy he could be on the table about.
Yeah.
Lance Briggs thinks Sanborn is a will. I love Lance Briggs as a player, as a evaluator, as a commentator. He sounds dumb a lot of the time. I don't know how else to put it. The guy, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the guys that was talking about Fields being a running back, not being able to throw, talking about how Darnell Mooney would never be anything. And a lot of times they just say things like that to get clicks, to get likes, to get views. And hey, Mr. Shorty,
Yeah,
this is my guy. I talked about this guy as soon as he got on the field. Sanborn is my dude, man. I love that guy. I love the way he plays. He does everything we need. I just I don't know. I love Shorty. I mean, I love Sanborn. He's
yeah, I'm sold on Sanborn, $1,000,000%, $1,000,000%.
I was gonna say because that man got it. He got it out the mud, bro. That's why that man got it out the mud. He came onto this roster, and folks looked at. I remember when we signed him, and I remember like, hey man, we should probably look out for Sanborn, bro. Like I remember watching this man's tape, and he was a fucking missile. And I didn't. What was his big knock? He ran a 4.7.
Right.
It was like, oh my god, he's not fast, but you see the man on the field, the motherfucker's chasing down Tyreek Hill.
He plays faster than what his 40 time was. And Ryan Poles loves him too. I don't know if you guys listen to CHGO's podcast. They had Ryan Poles on during Combine Week, and one of the first names he talked about was Sanborn in the middle. So obviously he's got a lot of faith in him as well. I think he's a guy that's going to be around for years to come. You know, I really like the dude.
Yeah, I'm with George though on Tremaine Edmonds too. I mean, if they're gonna address something there, I mean, he's a guy that I like too. I mean, guy's got experience, phenomenal tackler. You know, I think would be an immediate impact on this defense for sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's a guy that, you know, if you remember, he was drafted the same year as Roquan, and that was a lot of our offseason conversation that year was, is it Tremaine or is it Roquan? And we went with Roquan because Ryan Pace has an affinity for Georgia players. Don't get me wrong, I loved Roquan. I don't know if the price is going to be right. I know we've got the money, but I just don't see Ryan Poles going absolutely insane in free agency. We might see one big signing like a Hargraves or like a, I don't know, maybe one of these corners that are younger, but I don't see them.
Is Kenny Moore being cut by the Colts? Because it was some talk that he might be on the market for whatever reason. If Kenny Moore hits the market, believe he's going to be in Chicago.
Yeah. And what position does he play?
He's the slot corner for the Colts. He was the one that Eberflus had playing at an all-pro level.
Okay.
And I guess after Eberflus left, his play dropped off drastically in that system that they started running in Indianapolis. And I just remember somebody saying something about Kenny Moore possibly being in free agency, but that might be if they cut him or if he requested something. I don't know. I haven't seen anything else though.
I mean, just it's just funny because you bring up the Colts. What's your guys' opinions on the coach Ed Rusher, Yannick Nakaku? I don't know. I probably butchered his name. He got that's the guy. Yeah, he got 9.5 sacks last season, and he got 29 tackles as well.
Hey man, listen, y'all already know. AC can tell you. I've been saying Yannick name since the beginning of this
Jacksonville.
Hey, I said we should go get the man, bring him in for at least 2 years. Do what you gotta do. Because I agree with you, man. Still like 27 or some shit like that. Yeah, you get the
29
on so many teams. He's 29 now.
He's 29 now.
Oh shit! I thought he was a little bit younger than that. Oh,
hold on. No,
anyway,
no, sorry, no, he's 28. Sorry, he's 28.
28. Okay, I was gonna say I thought he still had a couple years, man, but for whatever reason, man, he's a consistent pass rusher. You need help with the pass rush. You do a lot worse than somebody that can get you at least 8 to 10 every year.
I agree.
I know his sack numbers are there and his pressure numbers are there. Is he good against the run? Because I remember a lot of teams up in the run last year.
So Ngakoue was somebody that was just decent. He wasn't a force in the run game. But you know what I'm saying, he was serviceable. I'm not sitting here saying that you put this man on the defense, we're gonna have the number one run stopping defense at all. The man hunts quarterbacks, that's his job.
Well, I mean, we need someone to hunt them because we didn't have anybody doing it on our D-line last year. Our leading sack, I've got his jersey hanging in the closet too, is my guy Brisker. So
when you safeties, yeah, it's not good, is it, when it's the safeties you're leading at Saka?
Right.
Yeah, and it's all bad, bro. Yeah, I'm trying to see what's going on with Kenny Moore, bro. Is he gonna get cut? Because, like I said, if Kenny Moore gets cut, I can almost guarantee you that man is probably going to be in Chicago.
Uh-huh. What about a guy that just got cut this week, Shaquille Griffin out of Jacksonville? He was a damn good corner. I know technically we may not have a corner need. I don't know, but I mean, I feel like we need help all over, honestly.
I don't know. I feel like corner is a big position, fellas. And I'm going to drop after I say this, but
Okay.
to me, you've got Jalen Johnson. Behind him, it was just like last season. It's you're pulling pieces out of a bag and hoping one sticks. You know what I mean? And I think it is a position of need for this defense. I think if you have two solid corners, I mean, it just makes this defense so much better. Think back to Tim Jennings and Peanut Tillman.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, holy cow. Like, you know, or even Nathan Basher. You know, you can go back that far, too. It just brings a different dynamic to your defense and, you know, makes quarterbacks maybe take that extra second to let that ball go, which means what this defense is known for, taking the ball away.
Take it away. Yeah.
So
our defense
throw something at the wall and see if it sticks.
Yep. Guys, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Always, anytime, brother. Anytime.
Always love you guys. And hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if you want to do some draft stuff, man, I think we're going to do one the week before the draft, too. It's up to you.
I haven't looked at anything. I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at anything but my pitching wedge and my hybrids.
Awesome.
That's all good, man. Chris don't know anything about draft either, so
I don't know fuck all about the draft.
All right, fellas. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
All right,
Later, boys.
Man, it was great to see Badge again. Getting back
awesome.
in the swing of things a little bit, and
man, my boy Badge get off, and then who enters the chat? Motherfucking Don Burr. Yeah, here this motherfucker goes.
What's this mean? I'm sure y'all think you got 2 first round. We did.
Motherfucker, we did. God damn it.
Dude, you not see the draft compensation? We got one this year, we got one next year, and we got a second in 25. And we got a wide receiver 1.
Oh my God.
Oh, go watch your lines, man.
I hope we spank them. I hope we beat the Lions so bad next season. I really do. So we can just rub it in that fucker's face.
Oh, Barelissimo. I do like Kalijah Cansey, brother. I do like him. Adebaware
out of
the boy out of Northwestern.
That's a dude that I liked a lot. He came out to the combine and he straight up killed it. This dude improved his draft stock right there. I think he ran one of the fastest 40s of all time for a defensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken. The guy his get off is absolutely insane. He's already a hometown kid. He knows how to play in that cold weather. Soldier Field's not going to bother him. Honestly, I love Jalen Carter. He was a guy that I liked a lot. But I watched him come up here to Kentucky in one of the coldest games that I can remember going to ever.
It looked good.
He was absolutely shut down by our offensive line that was replacing 3 starters and did not look good. So I love Carter, and I hate to drop him for 1 or 2 games. We saw in the national championship, or not the national championship, the semifinal, I guess it would be. He disappeared again, man. And I just. If you're drafting them top 10, man, you can't see them disappear like that. I don't know as much about Adebaware as far as seeing him on tape and stuff, but I know his numbers are absolutely insane, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. Kalijah Cansey, his arm length kind of worries me, Barelissimo. I don't know about him. I like him, and he's going to get the Aaron Donald comp because they wear the same college helmet. And they got the same height, but I mean, Aaron Donald was a physical specimen.
The guy's a freak.
So yeah, bro. I like to say I do like Kalijah Cansey. But I've seen talk about Kalijah Cansey probably going in the first 2, bro, which threw me off. Damn, we done jumped in the draft and we was talking about fucking free agent.
Yeah, I mean that was my plan with this show was free agency since it starts next week. But
yeah, man, let's Barelissimo, man. Look, If you come on the draft show, dog.
Hey,
Come on the
yeah,
draft
this
show.
is an invite.
Come on the draft show, bro.
Send me a message on Twitter, so we'll have the open communication, and whenever I set up the link for our draft show, I would love to have you come on and talk about some of these prospects and where you think they're going to land, because I mean, I know a little bit, you know what I'm saying, but nothing to the point of where Barlissimo is as far as tape breakdown. And I know him and Chris had a falling out one time. Maybe we can come through. We can.
Hey man, look, we gonna raise some beers, give hugs, and kumbaya.
Hey man, I don't. Honestly, man, I don't care if he comes on the show. It's great, man. I hold no sort of quarrel with anybody. Love and peace and all. Yeah, because another British voice. So yeah, it's all cool by me, man. It's all in the past.
There you go. So say my boy Chris internet connection was like, motherfucker, we throwing hands when I see Barlissimo.
I mean, I know we're gonna get back on topic with free agency, but I saw Nolan Smith pop up in the chat. He blazed a 40 time. They got him listed as an edge rusher. Maybe he could be an off the ball linebacker in our system. I'm not sure. But yeah, I like what Barlissimo says. You know, he had all that speed, the straight edge, the straight line speed, but when you see him on the field, he's just, I mean, if he wasn't behind the incredible D line or with the incredible D line at Georgia, like if he was at Kentucky, I just don't think he'd be doing what he did or putting up the numbers that he did at Georgia. I like the guy. He's from one of my favorite cities in Savannah, Georgia, but I don't know if he's a fit for us. He's kind of small. If you try to put him on the edge, I don't know how well it's going to go.
Right. But I was saying, man, you know what I'm saying? Getting back on the free agency thing, man. I said something about Draymond, my boy Okereke. Y'all talked about Hargrave. I'm saying, man, let's jump to the other side of the ball, man. Because my biggest thing, I said this and I'll continue to say this on Blue in the Face. I'm investing money in the O-line. That is my number one priority. I would take care of every O-line need before free agency even hit.
Right.
I mean, the draft hit.
Right.
I would sign the right. It's weird because we don't necessarily know what's going on with certain players on the roster. Like what are we doing with Cody Whitehair? Is Cody Whitehair going to be here next year? Or you know what I'm saying? Is he going to be traded? Or they going to cut him post June 1st cut? Wherever the case may be. Do you need to replace him? I think you do. He's older. He's injured often. And he has a $5 million cap hit.
Yeah, it's got a big contract.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So if you might have to get him up out of there. Like I said, I like the thought of Jawan Taylor. I like the pass blocking. I know people are crying fucking bloody murder for fucking Orlando Brown. All right, man, but y'all have to realize y'all finna pay this man $25 million to come play left tackle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As much as I believe that he's a decent tackle, there's nothing wrong with him. He does what he's supposed to do. But you're going to pay $25 million a year for that. And y'all have to realize that hampers other situations, especially now since we're down to 70 million or 75 mil. I like the thought of having Jawan Taylor. Maybe you can get Jawan Taylor at 17 to 18 million. Maybe it'll be a little bit more because you have to overpay. I don't know. If that's the case, then maybe you do go get Orlando Brown. But then there's another tackle that's flying under the radar I haven't seen nobody talk about, and we have direct ties to, and that's Andre Dillard. I haven't seen one person say one fucking word about Dillard. Dillard came in and played left tackle and played it very fucking well for the Eagles when he needed to. Then they put the man over there on the right. He played right tackle for when he needed to. I even think they put the motherfucker at guard and he played guard for spot duty. He's a former first round pick. He couldn't break the fucking line because the Eagles have such a great fucking line. And then you have Ian Cunningham who can give you anything that you need to know about the kid.
Right.
It's the same thing with the Isaac Seumalo guy. If you told me right now today the Bears signed Andre Dillard to play right tackle and they signed Isaac Seumalo to come in to be left guard, to me, you're already winning. Because at that point, I have no problem at drafting whoever the best center on board is in the second round.
Yeah, I'm looking through the list right now. There's a ton of guards on here.
What do you guys reckon to Ben Powers from the Ravens? I mean, he's only 26 and he's a decent run blocker.
I like Ben Powers too. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people say that they don't know if Ben Powers will fit our scheme because he's more power.
Right.
And I think Greg Gabriel said that.
Right, cool.
As far as him, and I like him because of age. And
I
the
do.
fact that guards aren't paid as much as tackles. I wouldn't mind having Ben Powers. I think Ben Powers can do whatever you need him to do. Getting out in space, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I haven't watched his film, so I don't know if the man can get out in space like you need him to. The one thing people have to realize is we fucking pull tackles. This is why I don't really understand why folks are saying that we should get Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown is a fucking anchor, and he does the job very fucking well. He's an anchor. You're not going to get past an anchor. But how many times
I think that
Braxton Jones get out in front of Justin Fields or pull to the opposite side of the line? This is what they did with Trent Williams with the 49ers. They're pulling them across and he's tagging people. So it's hard to say, bro. I would love to see Ben Powers, but like Ben Powers is more of a power guy. You know what I'm saying? He blocked for Lamar. You know what I'm saying? You got that going for you. But if you want the agile line, then you might have to really look at some of these players that's coming from the Eagles and try to poach them.
And they've got like a ton of free agents coming from the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think they got like 9 or something. Dalton Reisner was a guy that I liked in the draft. He's on this list coming out of Denver. I don't know what kind of scheme they run out there. I know they tried to bring in Nathaniel Hackett, and that didn't work out. So I don't know. It's just a name that I'm seeing on here. Isaiah Wynn was a guy that I liked a lot in New England. He played left tackle for them. I don't know if he can swap.
He should be a guard. He should be a guard. 6'2". I don't know how long his arms are. It's funny because this is also something else that Greg Gabriel was talking about. They brought up Isaiah Wynn, and he said that he always had him more projected as a guard in the league, and that the Patriots had him playing at left tackle. I said something about Isaiah Wynn a while back when I noticed that he was going to be a free agent. Hey, the man has guard size. If you can get him at a guard price and put him in the middle, hell, you might have yourself a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
So
I think he'll be looking. Do you think he'll be looking for offensive tackle money though?
That's the other thing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he wants to play tackle on another team or if he's just okay with the fact that somebody will sign him and put him at wherever and pay him. You know what I'm saying?
Was the guy that you mentioned, Isaiah Siumalo? Was that one of the dudes you were talking about?
Isaac Siumalo, the guard from the Eagles.
Yeah, I see him on here. He's 53rd on NFL.com's rankings, but comes from an Eagles system that does a lot of what we like to do. If you remember, if you watch them, you see Jason Kelsey getting out on the edge quite a bit. So we're gonna, they're gonna have athletic offensive linemen as well. That could be a dang good fit. I mean, what about? And we talked about it as far as draft. Behind Justin Fields, you've got Trevor Siemian. Now, in free agency, I don't know what they're going to ask for, but you got Teddy Bridgewater, you've got Jacoby Brissett, you've got that's just 2 of them that I'm seeing on here that I could see being a veteran backup.
I said Mariota.
Really?
Yeah, I'm thinking Mariota because I believe he's either a free agent this year or he's getting cut. It's one or the other because I've seen people talking about him.
I think he's got cut.
Yeah, I would if he hits the free agent market. Like I said, I seen people talking about Jacoby Brissett and him possibly going to one of these QB needy teams to be kind of like the fill-in starter because he has that. You know what I'm saying? He has that ability.
Right.
Like I said, if all things are even, if Mariota is on the market and he's not looking to break the bank as a backup, I will go draft Mariota because he does everything that Justin Fields does. He's just not as fast. Probably not as good as a passer either, but you know what I'm saying? You have it. I see people saying draft people. Yeah, I would love to draft DTR. That'd be dope.
Right.
But yeah, you see Scrody talking Shorty talking about Mariota. He can run the offense. Yeah, he can run it. No fucking problem. And it wouldn't be a drop off. You wouldn't have to change anything up. The other person I would love to see, but this is just me because I had been seeing the kid's praises since he was at Utah. That's Tyler Huntley. I don't know if he's a free agent or he's ever going to be a free agent. I would love to see Tyler Huntley because I said the man is a you see he made the Pro Bowl this year for whatever I don't know how they would. You know what I'm saying? They gassed my man up. And he actually did come in for the 707 to put on the show.
Well, my brother's actually a Ravens fan. Because when we were growing up, they had Ray Lewis and all those guys out there. He played linebacker just like me, and he loved Ray, so that became his favorite team. And he likes Huntley more than Lamar, as well at Lamar's price is his thing. But he's like he told me this year, he's like, man, I think I'm gonna pick a new team because anytime he tries to talk about Lamar possibly moving on from Lamar, they're like, you racist. That's why you don't like Lamar. He's like, no, dude, just look at the numbers and look at what Tyler did, in replacement of him. It has nothing to do with the color of his skin. I just don't know if he's worth that guaranteed contract. And that's something we'll have to watch as far as if Lamar ends up, which let's go into that, because how in the hell, if you're the New York Jets, I don't know if it's dropped yet, but they're talking about going after Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
Even Rappaport at the beginning of our podcast tweeted out, it's done.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah, I've heard it's done.
I had to look because now you can pay for these blue check marks. Mm-hmm. I had to look. Is this really coming from Ian Rappaport? Right. It was coming from Ian Rappaport.
I just if you've got I don't know what the draft compensation would be for an Aaron Rodgers, but even the Packers are tired of his shit. You know what I mean? I know Packers fans that were tired of his shit last year. This guy,
my homeboy was ready for him to go.
Right. So, if you're the Jets, you're going to trade for a guy that you hope to get a year out of before he goes back into a ayahuasca retreat and try and figure out what he's going to do with his future, or trade 2 first-round picks so you get Lamar Jackson, a former MVP. I do feel like the league and the owners are attempting to not do the fully guaranteed contracts. I heard last year when Deshaun Watson was signed to that, a lot of the owners were pissed because they knew where this would lead, and we might have this come up in a couple of years with Justin. When he's looking for a contract, he can say, hey, this dude got a fully guaranteed deal. Why can't I? I don't know what they're going to do, but if I'm the Jets, man, I'm going Lamar over Rodgers. I think I tweeted about it even because he's how old is Lamar? 25, 26 maybe. And
26.
And Rodgers is at almost 40, bro, and he don't know what he wants to do. How are you gonna? And those coaches' jobs are on the line out there in New York. Plus, we saw how Aaron Rodgers was with the small town Green Bay media, who all are going to kiss ass. They're all owners of the team. So you saw how he was. I just don't know how he would work in that New York media.
I reckon I see that Aaron Rodgers is such a wanker that he'll actually stay at Green Bay just to piss him off for another year because he's such a fucking dickhead. So, but I hope he goes, man. Yeah, well, he has been like that for the last sort of 2-3 seasons, hasn't he, really? And I think Green Bay, their management have just got to the point where we're just thinking, we can't let this one person hold the whole franchise up. There's more to a team than just one player, even if it is Aaron Rodgers. But I can imagine him, he'll just be going, oh yeah, I'll go to Jets, and then at the last minute he'll just change his mind just to piss the whole organisation off. But yeah, of course I want him to get out of our division completely. It'd be a joy. But I reckon as well, when he goes to New York, like you mentioned, AC, he's going to have to contend with a massive media presence all the time. Right. And New Yorkers don't take any shit. So that'd be very interesting to watch if he does go there.
I mean, on top of that, last year the Packers made, when they traded away Devontae Adams, they made a concerted effort to bring in young talent to try and continue with the future. Now they kept Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't there at training camp. He wasn't there in mandatory mini camp, none of that stuff. And then all of a sudden he shows up day one and he's like, why don't I have chemistry with my roster? If you look at the Jets roster, it's all young players.
Mm.
You all right there, Chris?
Just about, mate. Just recovered.
So if you look at the Jets roster, you've got Garrett Wilson, who's in his second year. You've got Sauce Gardner, who's in his second year. You got Quinnen Williams, who is probably about to get paid one of the best defensive tackles in the league.
Oh, yeah.
You got so many young pieces, and Aaron Rodgers, for as great as he is, he doesn't have the leadership ability. You know, he has a guy that he likes, and if he likes you, you're good. If he doesn't like you, you're screwed. We saw it with Jordan Nelson. We saw it with Devontae Adams. We saw it with Randall Cobb. You know, that was the whole. He was like, "You got to bring my guy back." They brought his guy back for him. I mean, Bellissimo says the Packers pay $53 million just to get him out of town.
That's wild, bro. That's wild.
I know we had the most dead cap space last year because Ryan Poles had to tear this thing down and start from the ground up. But man, if you're the Packers, they're under and as much as I say a small town and I talk about their fan base, those fans are passionate, man, and they've never had, a lot of them have never seen in their lifetime not having a franchise quarterback, not having everything. You know, before Brett Favre got there, Chris, I'm sure you remember.
Oh shit.
I
do, mate. I mean, I can remember the 80s. You know, when we used to roll the Packers practically guaranteed every year, especially like the mid 80s to like, you know, the early 90s. And you know, you wouldn't be a Packers fan in that decade if you didn't follow the team and you were picking a team to follow, you would no way become a Packer fan. So yeah, I mean, I just hope it's like, you know, a lot of dynasties will have like about 10 years. They're looking at them had longer than that because they just managed to get them 2 quarterbacks in a row. But I think their stock's going down and hopefully ours is rising. So yeah, I'd love to see him leave. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if he just retires. Just that won't surprise me. But then again, he'll probably lose a lot of money doing that. But it wouldn't surprise me if he did that as well.
All right, we gotta get off this subject. We've already got people in the chat asking, "Is this a Packers podcast?" You got Don Burst, and I agree with this. Detroit ran Aaron Rodgers out. They beat his ass. Yeah. They beat him down, and he didn't want to play there no more. Don, your team is damn good. I think the North is up for grabs next year. Kirk Cousins, who knows? I mean, they won 11 games last year that were one possession. Like, are they going to be able to continue that, or is that going to be something different? Maybe Don, your Detroit Lions are ripe for taking the number 1 spot. I mean, I love my Bears, but let's be honest, the way our defense played last year, who knows if they can turn it around in one offseason? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I just keep hoping the Bears are going to be like the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, they were poor for a long time. And then they just got them, you know, them right positions sorted, like with the quarterback, and they got the really good wide receiver as well, Chase. And they more or less split it around within sort of 2 years, and so did Philadelphia as well. They had a big drop off after the Super Bowl, and it took them a couple of years, and they were back in the big game this last season. So, you know, I just hope that they get the right players at the right position, and it's our time to start kicking on a bit.
That's interesting that you bring that up about the Bengals. You know, I grew up a Bengals fan before I met my wife, so I knew a lot of their suffering, and it was a lot of it had to do with the way the Steelers just beat them down all the time. The Steelers were that dominant team, and we're seeing that with Green Bay. And when did the Bengals turn it around? When Ben Roethlisberger all of a sudden – Father Time caught up with the guy, and all of a sudden he looked like an offensive lineman out there. So maybe there's a little more there than just what's on the surface. When you got a guy that's getting up there in age and possibly leaving the division, or in Roethlisberger's case, straight up retiring, and it kind of went head to head with that ascension. By the way, we got 112 viewers right now.
Hey man, hit the like, man.
Please
Fuck.
hit the like button. Let me.
We got 9 likes, and one of those likes is mine. God damn it! Y'all better get in the chat. Hit the goddamn like.
I'll hit this. Right there.
I'll do it as well when we finish the show. That'll be an extra 2.
I'll just hit that right quick. Like, subscribe, all the things that you hear from every YouTuber. Let me bring this up on my phone so I can go ahead and hit the like as well.
You know what I'm saying?
KB, you want to drive a little bit and tell us some other free agents that you're looking at?
Oh hell yeah, boy! Let your boy jump in the seat, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let your boy jump in the seat. Now, a couple other things, because Don Burr, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I gotta tell you this real. You want me to say something nice? Never. Never, you my boy Don, but I say shit. But no, you know what I'm saying? Looking across, because we spoke a little bit on the offensive line. Like I said, to me, that's 1A and 1B is the offensive line, defensive line. Those are, to me, money just needs to be thrown at. And if I literally see nothing but O lineman and D lineman being signed that first day, I'm not gonna say a motherfucking word. I don't care. Look, you got me. But a couple interesting names, man. A name I haven't seen people really talking about. Tight end. Okay. There's two.
Only one of them that I like.
It's 3 that I like. And the list goes Mike Gesicki, Hayden Hurst, because he is a free agent this year.
Oh yeah.
Hayden Hurst, and then whatever the Vikings decide to do with Irv Smith.
Oh yeah. I was looking at Dalton Schultz. I was expecting you to drop that name. I feel like Cole Kmet gives you everything Dalton Schultz could give you.
Yeah, I like Dalton Schultz. I feel like he might end up going to like the fucking Chargers or some dumb shit, man. I guess whatever. Is it Kellen Moore that went there? No, not Kellen Moore. They had somebody else that I guess helped coach him, and I guess he might actually be a good landing spot.
Kellen Moore did go to the Chargers. They let him go in Dallas, and he's out there with Justin Herbert. That's an interesting connection there.
Yeah. So I seen I follow my guy the Goat House. You know, he talks about a lot of these places where he thinks free agents have a good shot at going, and that was one of the places he mentioned. As far as Gesicki, Bellissimo, I love Gesicki, and I feel like he would fit perfectly on this offense.
He's the only one I like when you start to bring up tight ends.
Yeah,
that's the one guy that I think gives you something that Cole Kmet doesn't already give you. If you can run 2 tight end sets, I mean, look what they did in New England when you had Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. RIP, whatever.
You had Gronk being the hammer, and Aaron Hernandez was pretty much a glorified slot receiver.
Right.
It's the same thing as you know what I'm saying, with you had with Jimmy Graham when Jimmy Graham was in his prime. You had Jimmy Graham lining up in a slot and nobody could cover the man. He's 6'13", God damn it.
I didn't know this guy was a free agent. Is Austin Hooper a free agent?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see him.
I didn't realize he was. I mean, if he is, that's a guy that I like that could complement Cole quite a bit.
You know what I'm saying? I would love that Austin Hooper. I wanted Austin Hooper when he first left the fucking Falcons.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? He made the choice to go to Cleveland. So, but yeah, I was just throwing out those 3 names. If I seen somebody say something about Foster Moreau, I thought Foster Moreau got re-signed. I didn't know because doesn't he play in Vegas?
Vegas, yeah.
I thought I saw him being re-signed. He might not have been. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that could be. I mean, we'll have to stop and look, see how all that turns out. Yeah, I mean, I know tight end could be a spot, but man, I really like this draft class, the tight ends. The guy out of I want to say he's out of Oklahoma State or maybe Oregon State. I can't remember. I know it's orange.
But you talking about Luke Musgrave?
Yeah, that guy. I like him a lot. He didn't have a ton of numbers in college. He was hurt quite a bit, so maybe that drops his draft stock. Kuntz out of Old Dominion. You know, he was a small school guy, but his numbers are really good. I mean, long as you don't grab him in the second round, like another small school guy we had here in Chicago.
God, let's not.
Oh.
Let's not. I see my man Matthew Fochisi talking about what's the Iowa tight end Laporte, whatever his name
Sam
is.
Laporta. I thought he was a lot like Cole, but a lot of people are saying he's a lot more like Kittle. So I mean, those are big names to live up to for a tight end, and a lot of times you don't see these guys ball out as a rookie. You know, they're still trying to get their feet under them, because remember, these guys got to block like an offensive lineman and they got to catch like a wide receiver. The guy out of Georgia, Darnell Washington, he's like 6'8". Dude's huge. If he's the guy I'm thinking of, he wore number 0 at Georgia. That dude was just always open. I mean, next year Georgia's got a tight end that you hear Baby Gronk a lot. See that a lot with Brock Bowers. That dude is an absolute stud monster. Could be a top 10 pick. But I'm telling you, look up Brock Bowers. The guy's a monster. But we'll see. Mr. Shorty says he's a Darnell Washington lover. Yeah, I love his size. I love what he's able to do. I think he had really good combine numbers. You're going to see that out of Georgia. They just train those guys.
They're fucking freaks, bro. You know what I mean? They're all freaks. Yeah. Listen. What's that boy Nolan Smith got up there? Folks had him going in the second round. As soon as that man started working out, it was maybe he should come back up to the first.
Oh, here's something interesting from Don. If the Jets can't come to terms with Aaron Rodgers, they might turn to Matt Stafford. So they're looking the extreme veteran route. It seems like if that's true. Now this is I'm hearing it from someone else, but definitely that's interesting. I could see Matt Stafford working out for the Jets. He was injured last year, so that hurt him a lot. But Jeremy Forer says Washington looks like he's 45. He does look like, I think he's already balding and shit.
Hey, that's that pull up on the fucking Will Smith, Michael. Hey, motherfucker, how old are you? This motherfucker's 30. I'm 19. No, motherfucker, you at least 30.
Yeah. But he looked like a grown man against college athletes last year, and he played in the SEC. So, I'm all about that. KB, I know you're a Big Ten guy, but I know a lot of people in the chat are probably Big Ten guys. But man, the SEC is just a different level. Now, with the Big Ten, when they get USC and I can't remember UCLA in there, it might be something different. But other than Michigan and Ohio State, I was always going to have O-line and tight end, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro, at this point, it's gonna be nothing but SEC and goddamn Big Ten.
Yeah,
everybody trying to go to the damn conferences, bro.
It'd be like AFC. It'd be like AFC and NFC in the NFL. That's
pretty much. That's what it's gonna be. Shit. I was like, bro, you got USC and goddamn UCLA trying to go to the Big Ten, and fucking Texas and somebody Oklahoma trying to go to the SEC.
Oklahoma's coming to SEC next year, I think. Yeah,
and somebody said threw out another team too. Florida State might be trying to move to the SEC.
I haven't heard that yet.
My one of my homeboys is a Florida State fan, and he said that I guess it's talk about them moving to the SEC because the ACC isn't paying them.
Yeah, so, the only thing I don't like about this giant conference that they're building, and I know we're off topic here, but it looks like Kentucky might not be able to go ahead and mark a W each year against Louisville. They're talking about getting rid of that, which is really sad. Yeah. That's what happens, man. When you got a huge conference, you got to play in your conference. But I mean, the good thing is we'd be playing like every SEC team every 2 years will be on the, so like right now, this year we play Alabama and Kentucky. And we haven't played them in Kentucky in like 8 years or something like that. Whereas when it gets bigger, you'll be seeing them every 2 years. But we should probably get back on topic here, man. I called this thing free agency frenzy, and we talked about everything else.
I mean, we've been talking about it, bro.
It's the AC show, mate. It's the AC show.
You want to do?
Yeah, it's the AC show anyway. So we just follow your lead anyway, AC.
Yeah. Are there any other linebackers? I know we talked about David Okereke. If he,
how about what I've got is how about Caden Ellis from the Saints? He got 7 sacks last year and 78 tackles, and he's already 28.
Oh,
What's his one more time? What's his name? Cade something.
Caden Ellis.
Caden Ellis. I was gonna say I hadn't heard of him.
And he forced 2 fumbles as well.
Ooh.
So
he could be a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah.
Defensive end.
No, he's a linebacker.
Oh, okay. So they like to blitz him a lot, I guess.
Shit, I was just gonna get ready to say I'm kind of interested in somebody that just got cut here recently from the team we made the trade with. Shaq Thomas. Thompson, however you say his last name. He was just let go by the Carolina Panthers as a cap casualty.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And he's a little bit on the smaller side, but he's always been one of the quicker linebackers in the league, about 6 foot, you know what I'm saying, 200 plus. He can move sideline to sideline. You know what I'm saying? If you were looking to maybe upgrade that right outside linebacker position, I mean, I was thinking maybe re-signing Nick Morrow, but shit, Shaq would be a hell of a fucking pickup, man. That'd be a hell of a pickup.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm looking at 2 guys here on the list. It's Drew Tranquil out of LA
Denver?
Chargers. And,
oh no, that's Chargers.
And Cole Holcomb, who his picture looks like possibly Washington Commanders. It's a red jersey. I'm not sure, but he's got a sweet ass mullet. I know that.
The mullet gets you.
It's all about the hair, man.
I love the Kentucky waterfall, and I'm jealous about it because I can't. If I tried to grow one, I'd look like Hulk Hogan, bald on top, and have that shit.
Well, what style's that then, AC? Is that like a mullet style? You just saying?
Yeah. I just I can't do it, man. My shit's going on the top. That's why you always see me in a hat.
Yeah. Well, sorry, you got it down around your chin, mate. Anyway, to make up for the lack on top.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. See, your boy Caden Ellis, 6'2". Ooh.
I mean, what do you boys reckon about TJ Edwards from the Eagles? He's only 27, and he made 159 tackles.
Yeah, I had thought about him too early on in the season when they were still playing. I had said something about TJ Edwards possibly being not re-signed.
I remember you saying it.
He would be an interesting pickup too. He could probably play the outside linebacker position for us in the weak side. It's gonna be quite a few linebackers that kind of hit the market that what I'm saying, kind of make you look at them kind of sideways. Yeah, Levante David. I know he's super old. Him being cut, you got to mention his name. Bobby Wagner being cut, you gotta mention his name. I'm out on
Bobby Wagner. I know he was great in Seattle, but I didn't see much out of him in LA. I think he's kind of up there in age. Kaiser White, another former Eagle. Like I said, the Eagles have a ton of free agents. They just went to the Super Bowl, and it almost seems like they loaded up trying to get there, and then they didn't get the job done. And I don't know what their salary cap looks like. I know it's not as good as ours. Even after the DJ Moore contract, we're still like $12 million above anybody else.
I say fucking Aaron Kendrick got cut too. I forgot. But yeah, I was gonna say we still sitting at like 75 million, and I think the next closest is the Falcons with 60 something.
Bellissimo says Cleveland Farrell's a free agent. LMAO, the dude the Raiders drafted when they fleeced us on the trade. Yeah, that year was when Josh Allen came out, and I thought he was a perfect fit for the Raiders, and they went with Cleveland Farrell instead, and Jacksonville ended up with Josh Allen, the defensive end Josh Allen, not the quarterback.
Yeah, shit. It would have been his last year in Jacksonville too. I'm pretty sure they're picking up his 5th-year option.
Yeah,
but if he would have hit free agency, I'd have been all over Josh Allen.
I'd have bought a jersey. You already know.
Boy. Art. I was gonna say, going back to the other side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? I see the Arden Key, our boy, one of our boys, man. Damn, why can't I can't say his name right now. That's horrible. He might beat me up. Damn. Jordan. Jordan fucked me up. Yeah. Jordan brought Arden Key up, man, as a possible ad, as a pass rusher, he's getting a lot more steam. They're gonna say Devin Bush was another name I was gonna bring up. Bernlissimo already said. Devin Bush was a fucking heat-seeking missile at Michigan, bro.
Yeah.
He's just on the smaller side. He's like 5'10", 5'11".
Well, I know Arden Key. I think he came out of LSU. I liked him a lot in the
Yes.
draft. I'm not sure what
dropped.
his.
He dropped because of issues.
Yeah, I don't know what his size is as far as handing the dirt defensive end. I think he played a lot of outside linebacker stand-up type deal. He's fast as hell, but
so when he got drafted, he kind of busted out. Then he went to, I can't remember who drafted him, but I know he was with the Raiders at one point, and then he got his career back on track when he went to the 49ers. D'Amico Ryans got him fired up and playing right.
So, and I mean, if he likes D'Amico Ryans,
he might end up going to Houston.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say Arden Key was another one. I know Jordan had pointed him out as a young, under the radar kind of pass rusher or younger. Yeah, Cornelius, Devin Bush is definitely available.
He was the guy I liked in the draft a lot. It was between him and the guy that I think Buccaneers ended up drafting.
White, Devin White.
Yeah,
it was weird. It was Devin Bush and Devin White that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pittsburgh ended up taking Devin Bush. Just didn't work out for him. I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if it was injuries or whatever, because I know at one point they said something about him not being able to get on the field. So, yeah, Devin Bush. It's a lot of people, man. It's a lot of good corners, man. I said a lot of good corners, a lot of good players, and especially you looking at the corner market. You got Byron Murphy, possibly is a free agent this year. If you want to try to go outbid the Cardinals for him, then you got yourself an outside guy who could possibly play slot.
He's only like 25 too. So
yeah, he's a young cat. You got Cameron Dantzler just being cut by the Vikings. I
liked him a lot. I don't know what his age is or nothing.
Cameron Dantzler's got to be like 24, bro. He can't be too old, because they I feel like he just got fucking drafted, bro. But Dantzler, you got Isaiah Oliver that plays with the Falcons, who's gonna be a free agent this year. Somebody you ain't heard shit from since he's been drafted. I don't know what the fuck his problem is, but Greedy Williams is a fucking free agent this year.
Man, right. Greedy, I thought he was gonna be so good coming out. He had the numbers at the combine, but from what I hear from a lot of scouts and evaluators, is he's more of a press man coverage type corner who sticks with receivers really well like that. But when you ask him to play zone, he kind of looks lost out there. He's not sure where to go or what to do. Maybe coaching can help with that. I'm not sure. I mean, but I don't know, man. He might be. Man, Jeremy Fourier says Dantzler is 23 years old.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a pickup.
If you pick him up as a free agent, he could be younger than some of your rookies you draft this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's insane that he's already a free agent.
Yeah.
He got cut.
I was gonna say them cutting him was a big, it was a big eye-opening moment. But like I said, bro, it's pieces all over the place right now where we actually need. I don't know how the fucking the waiver wire works. Is it you sign somebody and you move back? Like, how's that work? Because right now we're number one until next year or after the draft, or however the case may be.
I think Greg Gabriel said like for the first 3 months it goes off of the original draft order. So yeah, we got first. Like as soon as someone gets cut, we got first. And
first steps.
Gets through us. Then it. Yeah.
I was gonna say David Onyemata is another one Don Burgess brought up. Is a defensive tackle. I only know him because I had signed him once during Madden. But I do know he's a free agent. But David Onyemata is also 30. You know what I'm saying? He's the same age as Hargrave. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm taking a chance on a guy hitting 30, they gotta be a guy who's showed a lot. You know, I just I don't know. Greedy would be better slot for me, is what Barlissimo says. Do you guys think that are they going to? So if we sign a corner, I guess it depends on who we sign. Do you guys think Kyler Gordon would be better on the outside or the inside?
I personally think Kyler Gordon would be a better outside corner. It's definitely not a shot at Kyler Gordon because you've seen him get better as the year went on and him being in the slot. But Kyler Gordon doesn't have I don't think he has the proper technique or the foot speed to really play the slot the way they want to, because Eberflus was sending Kenny Moore and shit on blitzes off the edge, and Kenny Moore had the speed to keep up with these dudes. So when looking at Barrelissimo, when you say Greedy would probably be a better slot, yeah, that's because fucking Greedy was pretty much almost a 4-3 guy. You know what I'm saying? He's all of about 6'1". You know what I'm saying? So he has the size and the speed to keep up with somebody. But I do feel like we could leave Kyler there and he can get better. But like I said, I feel like he would be a better outside corner than he would be at, you know what I'm saying? If you want the immediate returns, I think he'd be better as an outside corner.
Yeah, I agree with you, KB.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I just want to know your all's opinion on it, and
I mean,
might help us.
Sorry, SC, but isn't this year's draft really deep at the cornerback as well? So maybe we can draft a really good cornerback who might be able to slip inside.
A lot of people say it's deep, but I feel like it's very top heavy. Like guys like Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon is going to go high.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think. Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, he's jumped up draft boards. You know. That's a guy that Greg Gabriel's talked about. Cam Smith's kind of dropped a little bit. He's out of South Carolina. The kid out of Stanford that had a really good Senior Bowl practice week, Kai Blue Kelly. I like him quite a bit, but
you got a Joey Porter Jr. who's coming out. You know what I'm saying? He's just an athletic freak.
Barrelissimo's bringing up a free agent. Jamel Dean is a guy that I brought up before. I like him a lot as well.
I signed him too.
Yeah, I got Madden 23, man, and I started the franchise, but then I got that the same day I got Call of Duty, and
it's just one game significantly better than the other, and that's saying a lot because the stress level of Call of Duty is up here, and I would rather play Call of Duty than that.
Right.
But yeah, bro. Like I said, Jamel Dean will be a good one, man. He's definitely gonna break the bank, though. I know that because he's by far probably the best corner on the market. It's a better corner draft for Zone, man. Hey, I like the boy out of Iowa a lot, man. Riley Moss. Hey, man, bring it back, white corners, baby.
He'd be the only one in the league.
Hey, baby, I take it. I take it. You know what
I'm saying? Scotty says he wants to play safety, and I'm always like, man, linebacker is a lot more fun.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, bro. I was looking at that. I would like Riley Moss. I think Riley Moss could actually be a decent boundary corner because he's got the size and the speed. So, I think another position a lot of people are talking about, man, and I think it does need to be talked about is safety.
There's some high. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's on there. I don't know if he's probably going to look. I mean, if you're looking to help save money with Eddie Jackson's contract and injuries starting to happen with him, if you're looking to save money, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson ain't the way. But
he's not. That man's going to look for a contract, bro.
I mean, is Eddie Jackson sort of? Is he going to be back for the season next year? Is he going to be healthy enough for the season? Or
I could have sworn just recently, Ryan Poles came out in one of his pressers and said something specifically about Eddie Jackson being fine.
Right. Oh, cool. That's good.
So, but that's also something I'm just looking at. At a certain point, we got to if we start to take age into account for everybody. Eddie Jackson's 28 right now.
Well, I think he was an older rookie.
He was already an older rookie, yeah. But I think that at some point you probably are gonna have to get somebody else in. Maybe they do like the little scrappy kid they drafted out of Cal a little bit.
He got to play quite a bit last year, so they got to see. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I want to say it's something Elliott.
I'm sure somebody in the chat will let us know. But
Elijah Hicks.
That's
Elijah
Hicks.
That's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, from my understanding, they do like how he plays. So I mean, maybe, you know what I'm saying, when the contract for Eddie is up and you start to look at it, maybe Hicks learns enough from him that he can come in and play that free safety position. I like the scrappiness of him. That's another kid that's showing you he getting it out the mud. So
yeah, and you got DeAndre Houston Carson, who's always a solid guy who can come in, and
I'm just shocked that he hasn't I get it. You got Eddie Jackson, and you know what I'm saying, you draft Brisker. I feel like he should be starting somewhere, man.
You think someone will take a chance on it?
I was gonna say I will say this because he's never allowed to test free agency. That is the one thing you can sit there and say about Houston Carson. The Bears will not let that man touch free agency. And I think if he touched free agency, the Falcons will scoop him up because of pace.
Yeah.
Absolutely think they would. And I think he will be a starter.
Yeah, if I'm looking through the list here, I see Julian Love staring at me. He's 25 years old.
Oh, he's free agent?
Yeah, they used him all over the field in New York.
He's a team captain.
Maybe that's a guy, if he doesn't want to stick around in New York, or something happens where he's testing the open market, maybe that's a guy you bring in. But I don't know. Like I said, we've really got our two starters locked in.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of money they want to throw at backups or anything like that.
When I was mentioning something about it, man, it'd have to be draft. Yeah. I know it's somebody that's kind of lost the spotlight, man, is the safety out of Notre Dame was Brandon Joseph. I know that he's started to slip down people's boards. Maybe after pro days and stuff like that, he might creep back up a little bit. But if you can get him in the third, or if he somehow, I don't think he'll last past the third, but if he slipped to the fourth, I would pounce on Brandon Joseph in a heartbeat and get him in, and shit. Maybe you can have Brandon Joseph run the slot a little bit, or come in and play free and move Eddie into the slot, because I know Eddie has played the slot a few times. You know what I'm saying, and has done decent. So that's just a name, but like I said, that's draft. That'd be for another show. As far as free agency, man, yeah, I think if you bringing somebody in right now, bro, you're overpaying a backup. I'm just looking at the fact that, you know what I'm saying, at a certain point, we're gonna have to get somebody in here behind Eddie Jackson, bro. It's got to happen. DAC is good, and like I said, I do believe he should be a starter somewhere, but. Is he gonna be the guy that steps in? Shit, he's damn near just as old as fucking Eddie Jackson.
Right.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Yeah, I feel like he's been around a lot, but he brings you a lot in.
He does a lot,
special teams as well.
Yeah.
That's someone that they seem to like a lot as a special teamer, and I think he was the captain of the special teams. Speaking of special teams, do we have a kicker problem, fellas?
You're going to bring up Robbie Gould, aren't you? You're bringing up Robbie Gould.
Why not? I mean, you look at the past of Bears kickers, who has been the best? You know, I mean, he had a down year, and Ryan Pace was like, get shit together, and then they went ahead and cut him. But he's done nothing but ball out in San Francisco. Cairo Santos, I love the guy. He did a lot for us, but last year, man, especially the win game when we had to punt on like the 30-yard line.
Yeah, my man said no mas.
He said, I ain't with it. I can't hit it. Where I watched a Cleveland Browns game where they were going for a Hail Mary to try and win the game. The kicker was like begging the coach, let me try it. Let me try it. And it was like a 65-yard field goal. The kid just wanted a shot to be the hero. And you see that a lot with guys drafting kickers. They want that longevity, the big legs. Plus, Cairo's wearing DJ Moore's number, so
you got to come up off of it. I was gonna say, Chris, man, you want to speak on this, bro?
I mean, it's kickers, isn't it? Really, I know they're important, but I don't really have much of a view on them. But yeah, I mean, I think Santos last year, I think he lost his confidence, and just as like AC said, when he won't say that kick because he said it was too windy. I mean, are you thinking? You're a kicker, mate. That's your fucking job. You know what I mean? Right. That it's like you said, you want a kicker who's confident, and a bit like the Cincinnati Bengals kicker. He's a young kicker. And he'll always have a go. So I'll be quite happy if he brings some competition in against against Santos. To be honest with you, if it's Robbie Gold, it's Robbie Gold. But that position does need sorting out in my eyes for next season.
I don't think Robbie Gold is coming in for any competition. I think.
Robbie
No,
Gold
I don't as well.
he's getting the job. So
I think he's still got that. I think he's still got a house in Chicago as well.
Oh yeah, he
lives
visits.
there.
He frequently visits Chicago. Yeah, I was gonna say I think he still stays here. I think the fam. It's like I think he moved to San Fran and the family stayed here.
Oh really?
Shit
Right.
like that. Yeah, when they put a story out about that, and the family would come back and forth between San Fran and Chicago, but the family stays here. I know Matt Gay is going to be a free agent. I know that Greg Zuerlein, Greg the Leg. My thing is this, bro. Use that compensatory pick, draft a kicker. You see Nick Snead. Yeah, we got the kid. It's funny because I'm gonna go back to my team. We got Moody from fucking Michigan, bro. Was one of the all-time best kickers from Michigan right now. And look, my boy, it's in Don Burr knows. All right, and I'm Don Burr. You wanted me to say something nice. This is my nice thing to say to you. Don Burr and me are on the same wavelength on this. Moody is one of the best kickers in damn near college football history. It seems like. I don't think somebody is going to be like, oh yeah, let's just blow a 5th or a 6th on them. Maybe, I don't know, but for whatever, there's other kickers in this draft that people do like a little bit better than him. If I was on the board with that last pick and the compensatory pick, and Moody was on the board, I would absolutely draft him with that pick. You did this. You drafted a punter last year in Matt. Oh my God, what's the kid's name? Gill.
Yeah.
And Trenton Gill, yeah. Trenton Gill, bro, in the preseason, it looked like dude was a superhero.
He was the best draft pick, it looked like.
Right. My man was dropping punts inside the 10 with ease. You know what I'm saying? And now we're looking at it. Trenton Gill's probably going to be the punter for the foreseeable future for the Bears. Do that same thing, man. Use one of those late round picks. Go draft Moody. Or draft the Penn State kicker.
I know Ohio State had a good kicker too, but I saw him in the national championship completely whiff. I kind of took him off my board at that point. That was the guy that I was watching because I want a guy who can kick in the cold. That's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
You know, you can grab a LSU kicker or a Georgia kicker or somebody who is a good kicker in college, but who knows how they're going to kick in Chicago. I mean, Robbie Gold said it the best. You know, he had landmarks in the stadium where he knew where to aim it at to get it to where he needed it to be, because you got to fuck with the wind and all that in Chicago, where you just don't have to deal with that in a lot of places. But I feel like it's been a pretty good show. We've kind of covered everything: O-line, D-line, quarterback, corner. I think we've covered everything and talked a little bit of draft. We'll come back and do an actual draft show, and hopefully my guy Jordan can join us, because he's definitely got more knowledge than I do. And as I said, Barlissimo, the invitation is open. I'll send you the link whenever I'm
bring your ass
for our draft show. And but we'll go around the room and hit shout outs and anything y'all want to do, some closing thoughts. I'll start with you, Chris, if you want to go ahead, and we'll get this thing closed out.
Yes. Sure, yeah. I mean, the shout out is obviously to you boys. You know, it's just been great to be back with you boys talking football. But I just want to shout out to, like you guys know, my dad passed away last month, and I just want to shout out to everybody on the network who sent me, you know, messages. It really, really helped, man. And the people in chat as well, it made a big difference. So that's my main shout out, really. And it's just been fabulous to speak to you all again. And let's hope that we have a good draft, and you know, let's hope that we can keep this excitement going after this great deal what's been done. So yeah, I'm starting to buzz. I just wish it were like closer to the season already.
Oh yeah.
So that's my shout outs. I love you, but in the chat, and let's bring the draft on. Something what I don't know. I don't college football, so it's always an education to me when I get a chance to go. I'm excited again to learn more about the college players. But yeah, it's just been such a nice afternoon to spend with you boys, man, and everybody in the chat.
Big thanks.
Hell yeah. All right, KB, go ahead and hit your shout outs and
Hey, man.
anything you want to close off with, and then I'll finish this up.
First of all, man, shout out to you boys, man. You know what I'm saying? It feels good getting back on here, man. Like I said, I done had a lot of pent up shit to say, and it's finally nice to be able to say it.
Right.
Because at one point I felt like I was just sitting in the mirror talking to myself, and you know you're not crazy when you talk to yourself. It's when you start to answer the questions that you ask yourself. I was at that point.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's good being back on here with you boys, man. Shout out our boy Bash for jumping on here, man. I know I kind of sprung it on him last minute when I called him. I was like, "Hey, you know you're getting on the show, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm already finna get a hold of my boy AC, man, and go ahead and try to work this out." So it's good being on here with you boys, man. It's good seeing all the people in the chat, man. We got a real good following at one point. I saw us up over 120 at one point. You know what I'm saying? So it's good. It's good people jumping in on with us and showing us this love. We miss y'all. We love y'all. All the banter back and forth, who's and what's not. All the shows that's going on at the time, man. You know you got the Super Show now collabing with the Bury Your Soul. Those Bury Your Soul and the boys, Shorty and Nomad, who don't nobody know shit about. My man, everybody just coming in. So you know what I'm saying, that's been a good show to tune into. And also, man, I want to shout out a lot of these Bears, some of these Bears Twitter guys, man. I got into a little bit of a back and forth with my guy Swifty, but he knows it's all love. There's somebody who I would love to have on the show. I think Jordan actually went on the show with him. They did a show. It was him, Jordan, and somebody else. So my boy J2K, man, bro, it's so much. It's so many guys. Shy Bear Plus, all these people with these channels, man. If y'all in our chats, man, I'm pretty sure y'all in theirs too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of content going on, and I'm not somebody that's gonna sit here and try to hog fame or nothing like that, man. I'm spreading love to everybody. So, you know what I'm saying? Tune in. You want to listen to some of these channels, jump in with us first. Fuck them. And then you jump in with them. But yeah, man. Love y'all, man. Love you boys. Love everybody doing everything, man. Glad we back on.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, just like y'all said, man, shout out to y'all first and foremost. Coming on here, learned about some guys I didn't know about. You know, I was looking through the list over here, doing some on-screen producing. I feel like I'm doing a little bit better. I learned how to do a couple of things, and I'm proud of myself for what I've been able to accomplish in this last year taking over the show. Shout out to Badge for coming on, man. You know the door is always open for you if you ever want to come on and just for lack of a better term, bury your soul and tell us how you feeling. And just like KB said, man, obviously like, subscribe, hit that little bell so they'll tell you when we're going live. We got shows about White Sox, Cubs, Blackhawks, movies. We got shows about everything here at the Ballroom. Bury Your Souls is a fantastic show. Mr. Shorty gets on there with them now and does his thing. And it's becoming an excellent show. I can't usually listen live because they go on so late, but definitely that's something that I always listen to the next morning. I'm looking for it on Spotify. So also, if you're a big time listener, if you listen to us through Spotify or Apple or anything like that, give us some 5 stars. We appreciate it, to be honest. It helps us with our algorithm, helps us push out this podcast and grow this community of barflies that we have. I'm definitely excited to talk about off season. Ryan Poles hit us with a last second change, and I had to change everything I thought I was going to talk about today, but it worked out great. I'm glad everybody is just as excited as I am for the moves that we made. It's going to be a fun off season. We got plenty of money to throw around. We still got a great draft pick. We're still in the top 10, so I'm happy with that, you know. But I'm definitely excited about all that. Shout out to everybody in the chat for coming in with us today. Y'all had it popping.
Hey, man.
Don Burr, Tooch hops in at the end.
Yeah, Tooch talking about it's a pop-up show, motherfucker. Yes.
Matthew Focheezy's always in here, our Penn State guy. He definitely has all that information. Berlissimo with some great information while we're going, man. He definitely helps us out quite a bit.
Hey, Shorty, man, you got to extend that invite to us, brother. Let us know when y'all trying to do it, man. If everybody can work it out, we'll work it out.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
another show. The open mic night. That's something that Mr.
Yeah.
40's putting on. He lets all the Barflies come on. And I think J2K's been on there. Swifty's been on there. Of course, him and Nomad run the show, and it's a really fun fun show to. It's kind of like an extension of Bury Your Souls, but with Barflies in it, which is awesome. It's always fun, and that's a fun show to watch and check out. But last but not least, I'd like to shout out my wife. She just turned 34 yesterday. I don't know if she wants to put her age out there, but she's definitely
Happy
I
birthday.
outkick my coverage. with that one. She's drop dead gorgeous, and she's my rock, man. And we went to a little spot yesterday called Frank and Dino's in Lexington. It's named after Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, so it's a nice Italian restaurant. A little fancy. Your boy had to pull out a button up that don't get used very often.
You look smooth, mate. You look good on Facebook, mate. You look suave and sophisticated. I'm thinking, who the fuck is this guy with a beard?
Right. I'm like, man, he put it. He called that motherfucker, didn't he? That boy looked good.
Yeah.
That's good boy. I'm so proud of you, man.
Yeah. So we had a good time, and we're about to go to lunch now for her as well.
Awesome.
With her mom. So we're just gonna go to Texas Roadhouse for that one. Your boy likes the little bar and grill type atmosphere. But Dawn, you say AC tell her to become a Detroit fan. Funny story, her sister's boyfriend is from Michigan, so he's a Lions fan, and they actually went up to watch the Lions and Bears last year. And her sister wore a damn Lions jersey. Can you believe that? I lost my damn mind. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I definitely wanted to touch on that before we got out of here. And I'll set up something for the draft. I'll let you guys know, obviously. And Tooch, if you want to come in and talk draft, I'll send you the invite. The invitation's always open, brother.
Oh yeah.
If you're up and willing to go for it, but. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're just gonna get out of here. The ballroom's got you covered on everything. Oh, last but not least, Draft on Tap, man. If y'all want some information about who to watch for the Draft on Tap, you got Danny Shimon and Neil Stopchinski. They keep you covered, and then obviously Gabriel talks football. I think they're calling it GTF. He's got a lot of information about some of these draft prospects to give you a heads up of where the Bears might lean if they had a say in it, So it'll definitely get some good information on that, and I'll definitely be studying all that before we do our draft show. So I know a couple of guys to talk about.
Same here.
Right. I know a little bit. I watch college ball, mostly SEC, because that's just the region that I'm in. But it's definitely they give me a heads up on who's good, who's not good, what's good about them, and et cetera, et cetera. We're gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna hit this closing and just leave everybody with a bear down.
Bear down.